So multiple times throughout the year, I travel to my second setup at my parents' house, where I end up staying 1 to 2 weeks at a time. When I'm there, I continue making these videos and have now gotten to a point where I've built the perfect minimal travel carry that makes flying much easier. First, my travel bag is the Peak Design Everyday Backpack. I use this bag mainly because I bring my camera with me, otherwise I'd probably use my travel bag from TomTalk. I've now repurchased all of my main lighting equipment and a tripod that I need, so in here, I just have my camera and lenses. There's 3 separate layers in the main compartment that zips from both the top and sides, which makes accessing things inside easy. In the middle compartment is usually where I'll slip my Sony a6400 along with my 16mm wide lens from Sigma. My main lens is the 24-105G from Sony, and I keep this attached to the camera. This equipment has been great to me the past couple of years, but I am looking to upgrade the camera to either the A7 IV or A7C2. The compact design of this a6400 is nice, but the crop sensor is a big reason I want to move away from it. If I were to get another lens, even just a little wider than 24, it could mean I only have to carry the camera plus a lens on its own. In the other 2 layers, I store my camera batteries, a PS5 controller, and some various cables. In the back sleeve is where I slip my laptop, and last week I brought along the base M3 MacBook Air. Its lightweight build and 13-inch size made it perfect for traveling. I spent 2 weeks daily driving that machine, and even the base model surprised me with just how well it could handle most tasks. I have since gone back to my M3 Pro because 8GB of RAM just isn't enough to push my editing workflow, but with 16GB of RAM, I think it could be a better option than the MacBook Pro for most people. I'm in love with this 14-inch MacBook though. It wasn't much of an upgrade internally, but the smaller form factor is well worth it for me. Carrying around the 16-inch and using it in such a small area is kind of obnoxious, but I will say that it's great for development, which is all I use it for now. This 14-inch is a little heavier than the 13-inch Air, but it's still not heavy. The 0.8 pounds of extra weight is definitely worth it for me, having more ports, a better screen, and more power. The internal SSD is only 512GB, which I wish I upped, but given I always work on my edits using an external drive, this hasn't been too much of an issue. I use an ROG enclosure where inside is a 4TB M.2 SSD, which is more than enough to have months worth of projects on here. When connected to an external display, I always work with the MX Master 3S, and I throw this into the side pocket of my bag. I've yet to find a good competitor to this mouse, which is a shame because of the connectivity issues that I've been experiencing with it. That aside, the design and ergonomics are second to none in my opinion. The side scroll wheel is what drew me to it initially, and it's convenient to have for editing in Resolve. Now, alongside the mouse, I like to have a keyboard as well, and for travel, any of Newfie's airboards are a great choice. I like the 75% version the most, as you get media keys and arrow keys in a compact form factor. So having a Sling as an additional carry-on is actually something I can really recommend. Trying to fit a loaded up bag underneath the seat and still trying to have easy access to it was always a huge pain. Within the blue interior of this TomTalk Wonder Sling, I have space for my gaming handheld, Kindle, and pocket journal. In the 2 outside pockets, I slip my phone, wallet, and a single USB-C cable to charge everything. My phone is the S24 Ultra. Since switching from the iPhone 15 Pro, I've been really impressed with this device and have enjoyed the experience using it. I did end up getting some cases, and right now I'm rocking this leather one from Bellroy. This is probably the best looking case I've seen. It's all leather on the back and sides with perfectly cut holes for the cameras instead of an exposed area. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't have MagSafe like my ones from Mouse and ESR, so I can't use my MagSafe wallets. When I carry a full wallet, the Coach zip card case is my go-to. It has 4 card slots at the front with room for 2 more in the pocket behind, and then a zipper pouch where you can store cash or an AirTag. It took me a while to finally decide on this wallet, but since seeing Andres feature it within a video, I haven't wanted to use anything else. The Kindle is one of my most recent purchases, and I've been incredibly happy with it. For the most part, this has replaced my iPad as the secondary device I have around. Handwritten notes are the most of what I use my iPad for. I still prefer reading physical books, but the convenience of this is hard to beat, plus I can still read at night without needing to have a light. If you're wondering where I got the case, I'll have it linked down below along with everything I mentioned today, but it's a really nice leather one that I found on Amazon. This Kindle is the Paperwhite Signature Edition, which has 32GB of storage. For only books, that's an insane amount, but I wanted to be able to load this up with audiobooks as well. When I listen to those, I have the AirPod Pros, which I think sound pretty good, but I mostly just use them for how convenient they are. They're less seamless to use on a Kindle or Android phone, but when on a plane, throwing these in and blocking out the noise makes the experience so much smoother, and usually with these in, my ears don't get as plugged. When I travel, I like to bring along a handheld so that I can knock out some of my backlog when I have time. For me, the Steam Deck OLED has become my preferred preferred choice. I've used the ROG Ally and still think that's a great option, but personally, I find the design from Valve to be a lot more comfortable to hold. When I travel, I'm just looking to have the most playtime and care a lot less about visuals, so it makes the Steam Deck's better battery life a lot more appealing. I keep it inside of TomTalk's hardshell case, which keeps it protected whenever I'm not using it. It's super slim, so fits nicely inside of the Sling. I do carry around this 24,000 mAh power bank from Anker in case the deck needs some extra juice, though it's chunky, so I tend to keep it within my Peak design bag. This is TSA safe, by the way. For my suitcase, I have the Roadrunner carry-on from Level 8, who are actually sponsoring the video. I did still check this because I had 2 bags, but with everything that I carry in those, I liked having a much smaller suitcase that I typically bring. I found this more than enough to fit about 4 to 5 days worth of clothes, along with my PS5 because I wanted to play Helldivers 2 with my brother. The main compartment is sectioned off, giving you this top area that you can separate from the bottom. The divider has 2 zip pouches, which I use to put things like deodorant and my toothbrush. On the outside zip compartment, you have 2 sleeves for an iPad and MacBook, which I found really nice to store my 16-inch M1 Pro, as I use this for work and don't need to have it in my main bag. In front of it, there's 3 pockets, 2 smaller ones at top, and then 1 small pouch at bottom. The suitcase itself is made of a hard shell polycarbonate material that's very lightweight, so even when it's fully packed up, it wasn't very heavy. I love how compact this thing is, and the wheels on it glide very smoothly. Funny note on these, the orange logo on them made it super easy to pick out in baggage claim. Closing it up, you can lock both the front and back pockets with the included TSA lock. So this has been what I carry every time I travel. While this isn't minimal, I've tried to keep it as simple and functional as I could. If you want to see what my EDC looks like when I'm on the ground here at home, go and watch my updated video featuring the S24 Ultra. Take care.